Man, I have been waiting for months to sit and review Deadpool 3. I'm just over the moon. I couldn't be more excited. Yeah, I thought Taika Waititi was an odd choice for Deadpool. Maybe actually would have been a good director for Deadpool. But yeah, pumped, man. Deadpool 3.
I think we're doing the other new Ryan Reynolds movie.
Proposal 2. I thought that was we kind of said everything that we needed to say in the first one.
What? I don't know where we could go with Proposal 2. Like, is it the same two?
No.
Is it their kids? Is it a renuptial?
Green Lantern, the prequel. Before there's no powers. He doesn't have a ring. He's not a Green Lantern at all. He's just a guy. He's just like an everyday, this is Hal Jordan before he became a superhero.
Well, none of those we will be reviewing.
Oh. Well, if you want to take it from here.
We are reviewing Free Guy, the 2021 Ryan Reynolds film.
Yeah. 2021?
Well,
I could have swore
I think it was postponed.
This movie. I could have swore this movie came out forever ago. Like, I think I saw a trailer for it in 2019.
Yeah, I think it was like many films postponed.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But welcome to the Movie Men podcast. I'm Peter, and the other Ryan Reynolds film reference dropping host is, what's your name again?
I thought you were going to compare me to Ryan Reynolds there, and I was
What?
pretty flattered.
I mean,
I thought you were going to say Ryan Reynolds-esque.
oh, yeah. I mean, I could. I mean, okay. So here, let's break it down. First and foremost, we went through. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. But let me break this down. So we've got. While I Google a couple things, Ryan Reynolds. So you're both Canadian.
Yeah.
So you got that going for you.
We both own a gin company.
Really?
Yeah. Are you surprised about me or him?
Obviously him.
Okay.
I think he's taller than you.
Yeah, that is a common misconception.
Okay, never mind. You do both have kind of a, I don't even know how to put my finger on it, but you have a similar sense of humor, like a very laugh out loud, sometimes like, ooh, I'm a little uncomfortable, or just like in your face kind of humor. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to describe it, but you've got similar-esque humor skills.
I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about.
There it is. Okay, so I said the humor you've got, the Canadian aspect you've got. You're not the same height. I don't think you're both married to Blake Lively.
No, and that's tragic. It's tragic it didn't work out for them.
I don't know how much more. I think that's all I can stretch it to. I think I can just say you're both Canadian, and you both have a similar sense of humor.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you.
Oh, well, Were you ever married to Scarlett Johansson?
No, was he?
Apparently, from 2008 till 2011. That is news to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just verifying that right now on the official website for these types of things.
I'm on Wiki. Is that where you are too?
Yeah. ScarJo.
ScarJ.
Nate who got divorced.
Yeah.
Divorced, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Do
Anyway.
you have trivia about this film?
I do. Sorry, yeah. So we're reviewing. It's kind of a new release. It was in the theaters, I'd say about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. But it's more recently available to at-home viewing in the last, I'm not sure, insert blank, days, maybe a week or two. But Free Guy, I do have a trivia question. I'm going to bit of preamble trivia. I'm going to mention a couple things. Apparently, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson voiced one of the robbers, which I wouldn't have noticed. And in hindsight, I can picture it in my head, but for all I know, it could be any of the robbers for. Don't remember one specifically. This I found interesting. I liked The Truman Show. We just reviewed it a couple weeks ago now at this point. And there was the scene where a guy, Ryan Reynolds' character, discovers the edge of the game. And he's at a perimeter at the edge of the game where there's water. And I just got so many vibes back to The Truman Show. I'm like, whoa, this is like The Truman Show. And then I read a few kind of fan-made trivia questions or trivia tidbits, and people were saying like, yeah, this is such a clear reference to The Truman Show where Truman also discovers the edge of his reality and they have to cross it. And I just got some vibes from it. I think it's recency bias just because we just watched the film a few weeks ago. If we hadn't, I probably wouldn't have been so aware of it, but I thought that was interesting. My question for you, though. One question. You mentioned, actually, no, I guess we'll get to Taika soon enough. But can you name a prior connection between director Sean Levy, who was the director of this film, and actor Joe Keery, the actor who plays Keys, the programmer?
Keys. Well, the only thing that I know Joe Keery from is Stranger Things.
Sure.
And so I have no choice but to venture a guess that maybe what the noise was that? I have no I have no choice but to wager a guess that the director of this maybe also directed an episode or two of Stranger Things. That's it. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
Is that a new applause track?
Not a new applause track, just the same one. Just I have no.
It sounds better than normal.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the audience was extra pumped about your answer this time, so I think they're just more into it.
That could be. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I looked into the Stranger Things episodes, and just at a glance, it was about 80% were directed by, is it the Dufferin brothers, or I forget how to pronounce their names from Stranger Things. So I just assumed they directed all their episodes, but actually Sean Levy directed a handful in the various seasons. So beyond that, I wasn't too familiar with Sean Levy till I did some digging, and obviously I've a little familiar with Stranger Things and had seen Free Guy and bada bing, bada boom.
Huh.
Also, one last thing before we get into it is a little trivia comment. I put a little heart emoji next to it in my notes for the notepad. Alex Trebek made a cameo for this film.
Yeah.
And it was his final film cameo, sadly.
I was so I saw this movie in the theater.
Oh.
And I was yeah. It was sad. It was sad for me. It was very bittersweet.
Sure.
It was beautiful to see him up there. I was never a big was it Jeopardy?
Yeah.
I was never a big Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune. Who's the Wheel of Fortune guy?
Oh, Pat. Is it like Pat Sajak?
Okay.
Or
Right. And then Bob Barker was Price is Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And now skinny, less funny Drew Carey. But I was never a big Jeopardy person.
Sure.
But everything that happened there was certainly tragic, and I think it was so poetic and beautiful. He did the show pretty much right through till the end.
Yeah.
And he just had such a love for it and stuff. So anyway, seeing him there, it was a very nice touch.
It's such a unusual circumstance, right? Because the same thing happens when we see actors that we care for because of their roles and they're no longer with us. So I'm thinking, the actor who plays Snape. Oh my goodness, why is his name escaping me?
Alan Rickman. Sorry.
Alan Rickman. I literally don't know how that happened. But, actors, it's just a weird human experience because obviously as human beings, we never met them. We never had shared experiences with them. But just roles that they had in fiction, or in the case of Alex Trebek, just, a trivia television show, just they still somewhat kind of have a place in our heart for all the time that we shared with them, or the memories we shared with them in a way. Regardless, anytime it's a circumstance viewing someone like that, you initially smile because it's the person, but then you end up with a little bit of a sad takeaway from it just because you remember that they're no longer with us.
Except I had met Alan Rickman, so.
I have a question. It's not a trivia question.
Okay.
Who was he more hard on? Like, who was he more of a dick to? Harry Potter or you?
Well, you see, I bathed his Chihuahua weekly. And so he knew, I think there's a level of respect there that you can't.
Yep. No, that adds up.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, Free Guy.
Free Guy.
Yeah. So you, without knowing that we were going to review it necessarily, you kind of teased at this a little bit last week in the What You Watched section, because you saw this in theaters.
I did. Yeah, I went to go see it kind of on a whim. I didn't think that I was going to end up seeing it in the theater. I knew it was a movie. There was no immediate though. I was like, you know what, if I don't get to see this in the theater, then I don't see it in the theater, and I think that'll be okay. And then there was just a weekend. There was a Friday night, and and Friday nights.
Where's the story going?
Been around on a Friday night, I was sort of invited to a collective theater outing, and that was the movie that the most people could sort of agree on. So that is what we watched.
Yeah, I have to admit, when I first saw the trailer, and when I think you mentioned before you even saw it, just things about it to me, just personally outside of the podcast, and I have to admit, I wasn't opposed to this film, but I really just didn't have a yearning to see it. I was, it was just kind of a thing there for me. And then, in the last week or so, my wife was like, I'm interested to see this. And you did sing some, relatively high praises for it, for what it was. And I was like, you know what? Sure, let's give it a go. Let's give it a try. And I have to admit, I was pleasantly surprised. I think it held up higher than I was expecting, to be honest. I was a little worried it would be one of those films that you watch and after 15 or 20 minutes you think, did this premise really need to be a motion picture? Or, would it have better been served as a short skit on Saturday Night Live or a short YouTube video versus a whole feature film? And I have to admit, I was pleasantly surprised I was wrong. That was not the case. I think I was surprised with how much of a character-driven story it really was outside of Ryan Reynolds. I feel like that wasn't shown to me in the trailers, and I think that was a benefit to it as far as just adding dimensions to the film and reasons to get involved emotionally. So I think I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, that's good. I'm going to talk some numbers with you here because you know.
Go ahead.
something I typically do after your trivia, but thank you for the monologue. I think I fall in the same. I definitely fell in the same band camp. That one time that you did. I was like, of the Ryan Reynolds movies I've seen, I don't know. Like when I watched the trailer, I was like, I don't know. It's not Deadpool. There were no outrageous moments in the trailer that really made me laugh super hard. And so I was like, I'll see it. I'll see it when I see it. I'll see it when it comes out. But I'm not going to stress it. And no, and I, and then went and was also very, very genuinely surprised, actually, because the trailer just gives you, I don't know, the trailer just gives you fluff. It just gives you action, energy, some comedy, but nothing really of substance.
No.
And so, it was nice. It was nice. It was nice having something a little more on the bones to kind of chew on.
Yep. Yep.
So, made me happy. Numbers. Let's talk some numbers here. So, Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. Maters of the rotten. Care to venture a guess? Audience score.
I'm going to say people enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 80%.
And this is critics, right?
Oh,
critics
sorry.
Tomato meter.
I'll go 70. 70%.
Okay. Well, the answer is 80. So you should have.
Dang it.
You should have. I was like, when you said that, I was like, damn it, he looked it up. But no, seriously, you didn't know?
No.
Okay, audience score.
I'm going to go with 80 again.
94.
Oh, wow.
People are adoring this movie. And you know what? I think rightfully so. I think, the movie had a budget of $125 million, which is a lot of cookies. And to date, worldwide, it has grossed $324 million.
Oh, wow.
So it's doing well. It's a profitable film.
If I can say, I think both numbers surprised me. I think for no specific reason about the production value, that's higher than if you had asked me a trivia question about how much it cost, I thought it would have been below 100, but I have nothing to base that off in this particular film. And I'm also surprised that the actual gross income it's brought in is so high so fast.
Yeah. So opening weekend, domestically opening weekend, it did 28 million, which is not shabby, considering it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Considering it's everyone says post-pandemic, and I'm like, what world are you living in? I still can't go lick a railing of a public, but in a world that's been affected by COVID restrictions, drastically reduced theater capacity, and sort of, I think, just an overall anxiety to go out and watch movies. So 28 million is not bad at all. And even this past weekend, so that was, it opened August 13th. And this past weekend, on October 3rd, the October 1st to 3rd weekend, it pulled in another 2.2 million. So it's still trucking along.
Yeah.
It's still bringing in a good chunk of change. So, All that to say, the movie's doing really well. It's doing really well. It's made money. The fans are liking it, and I think the film's had a lot of really good word of mouth. I think people aren't sitting down to watch this movie and expecting to get the substance that they're getting. But I think they are getting substance, and I think that they're sharing that substance. I think that's turning into to good word of mouth for it.
Yep. No, that's fair.
So, tell me your experience with this.
Well, like I said, I think I was surprised. So I think I went in with low expectations, came out with I was very pleased with what it did and the time that it had. I think we can get into the nitty-gritty of the film further if we as the conversation goes on. The two things that I kind of want to break down with you, because these are the most burning things that come to mind when the end credits rolled, and I'm being quite honest, revolve around Ryan Reynolds. And so I sat and I enjoyed this film. It had the heartwarming moments. I loved his relationship with his best friend. I loved the character-driven stories of the outside video game world that really drove things along, and the connection between two worlds as far as our characters were concerned. Laughed a lot. Had some fun action sequences. This film did more than I was expecting it to do. But the questions it raised for me are specifically Ryan Reynolds centric. So I think the one thing that it did for me was remind me how talented of an actor he is. Because there were different scenes where I was just impressed with his facial gestures. Just one mere talent of his that I kind of honed in on at one part of this film was there was like not a montage, but there was a musical sequence where there's like the Carpenters, I think it is, Play Your Own Kind of Music starts playing in an action sequence, and he's watching who he thinks is this romantic interest fighting, and he just makes all these facial gestures of like being impressed, being scared, and all these just different comedic things that in reality are just an actor having a camera pointed at him and he's acting with his face. And I was impressed with that. I thought it was a great sequence. And throughout the whole film, I thought it showed Ryan Reynolds' range of, funny, snappy, quick at you humor, some heartfelt stuff, some various range of emotional complexities as an actor. So the one thing that I came away with was appreciation for Ryan Reynolds. But the other thing that I came away with was a bit of a questioning. And I don't know where I stand with this, and I'm wanting to more just have a dialogue with you and break it down. I was going, hey, yeah, this was a fun film. I don't think it's in a top 5 of Ryan Reynolds by any means, or top 3, but it was what it was. And then I started scrolling through his filmography, and I went, and this is definitely my personal bias coming through, I am not that familiar with a lot of Ryan Reynolds films. And I don't know if I mean this as a critique or not. I don't know if I mean this as just an ignorance of mine. But when I'm scrolling through all these films, I'm just wondering, I don't know where I stand with this film being a top 5. I can't definitively say it's not in his top 5 just because there's not a lot of films that I think are incredibly great that are in his filmography that rule this out from being in the top 5 for his. And I'm just wondering where you stand on Ryan Reynolds, his top 5, and me saying that. And what do you think about me being so questioning walking away from this film, from his body of work?
Sure. Well, I just pulled up his IMDb and I'm taking a look at it.
Because when I think Ryan Reynolds, he's so on the Hollywood scene as far as interviews, jokes. Like, he's very present in social media and just things that are gobbled up by viewers. So I'm just wondering, I guess the question that I'm posing is he in a lot of good films, or is he just a good actor who's also outside of the film scene very visceral and very entertaining and watchable and just kind of an all-around talent?
Okay. Well, so I definitely think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
So he starts his acting career when he's 15.
Sure.
And there's a lot of kind of nobody really knows stuff here. Unless you, I mean, maybe you've seen one of these movies or you've seen one of these shows. He does an episode of The X-Files. He does an episode of
really?
Sabrina, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Sure.
The first real thing that I can see here that is like okay, yes, Ryan Reynolds is in 2002 when he does Van Wilder.
Okay.
Then 2005 he was in the Amityville Horror remake. It's not very good.
I was going to say, I'm a little disappointed you said that because you know me, I'm not a huge horror, scary film flick. But honestly, if it had been halfway decent with Ryan Reynolds in it, I probably would have still watched it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Okay.
2009, he's Wade Wilson in the X-Men Origins Wolverine. Then 2009 is also the Proposal year. Mm-hmm. So Proposal's definitely up there. Green Lantern.
Yeah.
The Change Up. Turbo. He voiced Turbo in Turbo. He's in The Croods, ironically. There's a character named Guy. R.I.P.D., which is a horrible Ryan Reynolds, Jeff Bridges film.
I never would watch that, I have to admit.
And then Deadpool.
Right.
And Deadpool video shorts, and Deadpool YouTube videos, and Deadpool this, that, and the other thing. And then, like really what it is it's and then Detective Pikachu, which was actually much better than I thought it was going to be.
When I scroll past Detective Pikachu, I look at it and go, not my favorite film. I don't know if I'd even feel the need to see it again, but it's definitely interesting, and he obviously plays a pivotal role in it being interesting, for sure.
You know what I'm looking at, and he's in, they're doing Clue. They're doing a Clue movie.
Oh, baby.
And the only two people cast right now are him and Jason Bateman. And I am ready for that. But
interesting.
I think it's Buried. He was in Buried.
Yes.
That's a good performance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think for the most part, it's all Deadpool. It's Deadpool and it's internet feuds with Hugh Jackman, and it's posts to his own Facebook page or YouTube channel about Aviation Gin and Mint Mobile and just all the various companies that he has. And I think he's just super charismatic and fun. And we love him. We love him in movies and we love him in things like that, but we also love him almost equally as much as just a personality.
I think you're right. Yeah, because I'm looking. So I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan. I've seen it and I appreciate it, how unique it is compared to other comic book films. And again, it's quite driven by Ryan Reynolds and his own unique way that he can bring a superhero to life in such a odd way compared to the norm. But I'm looking at these films and I'm there for The Proposal. Love it. Thought he's in a great role and film in Woman in Gold. I watched a film from 2014 that was incredibly contrast to a lot of Ryan Reynolds' work called The Captive from 2014, where I think he's the father of a young girl who's kidnapped from the back of his car. And from what I remember, it was a captivating performance. You've got the change up, so you got a lot of funny things going on. And Buried, specifically, you mentioned, just literally a film for 90 minutes with Ryan Reynolds in a box.
Yeah.
Like, it's the very it's kind of like what I was talking about with facial acting, about appreciating an actor just exercising his form, except that for 90 minutes and in a more somber tone. So I guess my point is there's some gems in there, but there's also a lot of sludge and crap. And I think you've answered my question, or at least I've articulated how I feel, that yeah, there's some gems, yeah, there's some crap, but I think just overall he is very present and entertaining and outside his film work. And I think, a lot of people hold him in high esteem, and I don't think I judge you or judge them any more or any less after watching this list of films going, is he really good enough to be this high on people's lists? Because there's a couple good films, but it's not like, a list of just amazing amazing films. But I think I'm okay with it, if that makes sense. I think he's just a unique anomaly where he's got his film side and his life side, and they kind of meet, and they're kind of similar, and it gives him a unique platform that not all other actors lean into as much, or their personalities would allow them to lean into as much.
Well, and he's also super self-aware when, he's super self-aware when he makes a film that is crap, and he'll be the first one to make fun of it.
Okay, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Green Lantern has been a never-ending running gag.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you ever saw Green Lantern.
I did. Actually, listen, I don't remember much about it, so I can't argue or defend it in any way. But there was a funny line in it where I think he had a one-night stand, and he's leaving the girl, and he's like, I gotta go, but there's water in the tap. Gotta go, bye.
Yeah. So he actually references it in Deadpool.
Oh, really?
There's a line when they're first wheeling him into the testing facility, and they're going to give him his powers. And he's yelling back to them. He's like, please don't make the super suit green or animated. Stuff like that. And then there was an interview I watched for Free Guy for this movie with Taika and Ryan. And they were talking about, they were really, really, who Taika is, of course, in Green Lantern as Ryan's good friend. Yeah. And, but they were in this interview, they were really leaning into how nice it is to finally be working together for the first time, because they have never done a film together before. And, so it's fun stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's talk about, let's talk about the substance. We say there's substance, let's lay into that.
Sure.
So there's this whole plot that I didn't get from any of the trailers that I watched, which was the stolen code romance between two of our main characters, the coders, the real life coder people, the young fools in love. And that wasn't in it. That wasn't in the trailers. And so
no,
to get that, and you watch the trailer and you think, oh, well, it's all just about this guy who's a video game character who is no longer a video game character, or discovers that he's a video game character. And you're like, okay, I could see how you could make that funny for about 20 minutes, but then that's going to get old. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a very tiring thing. But then there's peril that they introduce, and there's the romance, and there's like high stakes, and there's it's just sort of this fun, fantastical mystery to it, and like seriously some peril. Like when, you know, it's kind of heart wrenching when what we realize what, you know, is on the line here is that all these characters are going to be gone, and you feel yourself feeling for these characters. Or when Guy gets sort of rebooted,
Right.
and he doesn't remember,
Yep.
and it's heart wrenching. And I just found I found that so interesting that
Oh, yeah.
you know, that you could take this goofy Ryan Reynolds character and put us in a position where we're like, this is actually, it's sad. It's sad that we can't, you know, that we shared this almost 13 going on 30-esque romance evening together date, and now that's gone, and now he doesn't remember any of that. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who these people are. He just thinks he's a banker again. You know, and so I think through all that, the film asks a bunch of really great questions. They ask questions like, what does it really mean to be alive? What is the value of life?
Yep.
And then the value of love. Like the fact that Guy was created sort of as a love letter to this girl. You know, and the way that all came together is like why he was designed and how he was designed the way that he was, and why she specifically was able to trigger his code to start, you know, snap him out of his predestined programming. I thought that was all really great. And Ryan Reynolds' line at the end, when she's in the game to see him one last time, or the new game, the new world, and he says to her, like, this, you know, this can't work. This isn't. I'm not real. But I feel the way that I feel about you because someone created me to feel that way. And or however he says it, and it's like, wow, like, and it just hits her. It hits her like a ton of bricks. That, like, holy crap, I'm in love with you, and you're amazing and you're wonderful, but you're just an extension of this other guy who's madly in love with me, and is right there and is tangible and
Yeah.
you know, doesn't break any laws. I think I don't know how that works, but.
Well, that's something that I think you raise a lot of good points of things that this movie brought to the table and challenged us as a viewer. And something that really kind of challenged me early on, and then obviously as the film went on, it resolved and then came to that resolution you're just talking about where it hits her in the face. But it was this point where before we realized what Ryan Reynolds' character Guy, before we realized it's kind of a manifestation of, you know, the other programmer who programmed this video game, and it's kind of an extension of him. Before we knew all that, it just was this peculiar question of, so why, you know, what is going on here? But more importantly, what is the significance of this computer generated character, this NPC, having all similar interests to this female character, and having kind of just what seems like an actual interaction and a relationship blooming. And if all the things that go right in this film that they're hoping to go right for happen, what is this going to look like? What is going to happen here? What is even reasonable? What is appropriate? And then obviously as the story progresses and things flesh out, then we realize why Ryan's saying the things he is, and it answers itself. But I think it was just an interesting storyline that kind of raised some questions for me, more less philosophically, I mean, but more just about where's this film going, or why is this happening, or what's it doing. And again, it just adds to the depth of more depth than I thought this film was going to have.
Yeah. And it's everything we're saying. Like, I feel like we could talk about this movie till we're blue in the face, and the answer is always going to be, it gave me a lot more than I was expecting it to.
Sure. I think if the worst fate a film can have is set up our hopes or us to build up anticipation and not live up to it. And if you go in with no expectation, low expectation, or just a willingness to have fun and be transported, then fun things can happen.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened for me, anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
So, that's really all I can say. I mean, we'll talk about Chris Evans shows up.
Yes.
In an incredible, just packed full of cameo 30 seconds between Star Wars.
Yep.
And cameo, but like referencing other films.
Musical sequences from Star Wars and Marvel that really just make you go, oh yeah.
And when that happened, when the shield thing happened, and there's Chris Evans, that was great. And then when the lightsaber thing happened, I tell you, I was sitting in the movie theater and I was grinning cheek to cheek. I was just like, it was so fun and absurd. And it would have been nice to see maybe a little bit more of that type of thing, sort of in the vein of, like, I think this potentially, if we'd gotten a little bit more of the Ready Player One feel, where from a property standpoint, anything goes.
Sure.
I think that would have been fun, but ultimately the film has its own identity, and that's you can't fault it. You can never fault a film for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Do you have anything else, sir?
I think that's about it. I think of note, I think it was according to the internet, apparently Ryan Reynolds, when they were filming, they were relatively close proximity-wise or geographically-wise to Evans. So I guess Ryan Reynolds texted him saying, hey, you good to come over and do a cameo? And Evans said, like, I literally have, like, it has to be like me coming in 10 minutes and gone. Like, it'll have to be boom, boom.
Yeah.
And they made it happen. And, it was literally just like a snap in the film.
Sit him down in a coffee shop or, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that locale is.
It was amazing. I liked it. The last thing I'll end it on, Taika Waititi, loved him. And I think it's not my favorite role that he's in.
No.
It's a pretty high bar where he plays the rock figure in Thor Ragnarok, even though it's a brief role. It's just so good. At this role, they had to kind of, for comedic purposes, write a very one-dimensional jackass, and he played it well and in as funny a way as you can. But good role, not my favorite YTT role.
I concur. Scale of 1 to 10, sir. 0 to 10. Depending on, I mean,
Whoa.
I'll leave that door open for you.
I gave this a 5.5 out of 10.
Huh.
On my scale.
It's very middle of the road.
And on the scale, I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Right. So, what is the difference?
So my scale, according to where I ranked it, and there's the different levels of how much effort I want to put into it. This falls right into the category. If it's on a streaming site, I would absolutely watch it and say, that's as much effort or, payment I'd want to put into watching this film. And so that's exactly what happened. It was on Disney Plus, watched it, and I was like, great. Glad I didn't drop $30 into it. Glad I didn't go to the theaters, but it's definitely worth watching.
Cool.
What did you give it out of 10?
I gave this a 7.5. So literally,
okay.
as 75 as 3/4 of the way there as it can get. Yeah, there was. It was fun. It gave me a lot more than I was expecting. I feel like I sound like a broken record now, but it was an absolute blast. It wasn't my favorite Ryan Reynolds film.
Okay.
And yeah, I certainly could have enjoyed it more, I think. But I didn't walk away from it with any specific, like, I really didn't like this, or I thought that this was kind of stupid, or like, I didn't have that at all.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, cool. Great. What'd you watch this week?
I watched one film. I've continued my journey on watching Leonardo DiCaprio films. I watched a film that you're not as into as I was. I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the 2019 film. When I watched it a couple years ago, I think I was just really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I think that's a phrase that you've used before, and I'm going to use it again.
It's a good phrase.
I think if I was watching it back then, I don't remember what I rated it back then, but I think I was just really, like, when I watched it, I think I was just really blown away by it, or really into it. And I don't think I would have given it a 10 at the time, but I think I would have given it at least a 9. I watched it. I still enjoyed it. I still think it's a really interesting film. I think it's probably in my top 5 Tarantino, but I was a little bit more the cool kid at the party. I was like, okay, like let's tone it down a bit. I think I can comfortably give it an 8, and still a solid Leo film, and that is what I watched this week.
Did you say the top 5 Tarantino films?
Yeah.
So because it's Tarantino, literally all that means is it's in the better half of the films he's made.
That's actually kind of true.
Like,
And actually, it's literally, I think it's like 9. I think it's like 10 if you count Kill Bill as 2 volumes,
which he doesn't.
So yeah,
because he's got one left supposedly.
Yeah, and actually, listen, I the more you think about it, I don't think I've seen all 9. So really, like, saying it's top 5, it's like, hey, you've seen 6 or 7.
There are 4 that are worse than this for sure.
Okay, let me clarify. I think it's top 3, probably top 2. But
okay,
good point.
That makes
good point.
That makes more sense.
I think it's top 10 Tarantino for sure.
Yeah, cool.
What'd you watch?
I watched one film. I think just one film.
Okay.
And then sort of a smattering of television. So the television I've been watching, I started watching Seinfeld.
No way.
Yeah, I'm like 4, maybe 5 episodes in.
What drew you? What made you hit play?
The just sort of availableness of it. Like,
sure.
Literally the fact that it's shown up on Netflix in our region. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't have gone and sought the show out.
Right.
And so having it just kind of presented on a platter maybe bridged that gap a little. I started watching Full House.
Interesting.
I'd never seen it before, and so
and
was surprised.
What do you think?
Well,
what do you think?
I've only seen the first episode now.
Yeah,
and it's a first episode.
Sure.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh.
The only thing I can really say, I guess, is I'm surprised how young the Olsen twins are, and that I didn't realize they were so young.
Oh. Yeah.
When it started.
Sure.
And then, and that's like a really interesting, like they literally can't remember a time before being famous. And that's an interesting, I don't know. I thought about that for a bit afterwards from like a psychological standpoint.
That's actually kind of wild.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
What else? Friends.
Yep.
Still watching Friends. But the movie, sir. The movie that I watched that I had not seen before. And I think is a film that I probably should have seen prior to now. And I'm sure other people have seen it and have, and are going to say, "Oh, like how could you not have seen that? Like what a fundamentally life-altering film." I watched Into the Wild.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen it?
I'm going to get the Googler out. Keep talking about it. I want to make sure I'm commenting on the correct film.
The guy, he goes to Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
Finds a bus.
I'm aware of it. I've scrolled past it a bunch of times on streaming sites and I've gone, oh, I could watch this. But I won't. What did you?
Yeah.
How does it hold up?
I highly recommend it.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, like 8.5 out of 10.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely a good movie. But yeah,
okay,
so that's all I got there.
Huh?
That's it. That's all I watched.
Sean Penn directed it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, you should watch it. Vince Vaughn's in it.
Wow.
Yeah, briefly.
Really?
But it's Emile Hirsch is the sort of the head honcho, which we all remember from The Girl Next Door with Alicia Cuthbert and Timothy Olyphant.
Well, also connection, he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Correct. Not Sean Penn. No.
No,
which is too bad. Sean Penn would have been a great addition to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm talking Emile Hirsch.
He could have played Charles Manson. Yeah.
Could have.
Yeah. Wrap it up, sir.
Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. We really appreciate you listening to us. If you can, please rate and review us positively on the app or the podcast site that you're using. It really helps the show out. Like, follow, subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check out our Patreon page, our merchandise page. It's ways for us to give you perks, and it's ways for you to help support the show, pay the bills, keep the lights on, buy a few lumps of coal, because it's starting to get colder outside. And we do really appreciate that. Until next time.
Please, sir, can we have another lump for the fire?
Don't have a good day. Have a great day.
Oh, it's such a good slogan.